Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1983 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Mariners today is Bud Black, whose record is 12-11 with a 4.40 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers today is Jack Morris, whose record is 18-9 with a 3.95 ERA. And so we are down to the next to last game of the season. We did break our 4-game losing streak with a win yesterday, and Kirk Gibson had 2 home runs, moving him to 17 on the season. Danny Jackson pitched 5 shutout innings and looked pretty good, maybe in line for the number 5 starting position in a rotation next year. But we've got 2 games to go. Nothing really to play for but stats. We're facing a lefty today. The one thing we can say is at least our victory eliminated Seattle from contention. And if Oakland wins today, it doesn't matter whether California does or not. Oakland will win the division in the West. That is amazing. That is maybe one of the more bizarre things that we've seen as Season 4 is coming to an end. Before we get started with today's game, I want to mention also that, of course, when the season ends, looking at the calendar here, the season will end tomorrow. We're going to try to get that game in. There will be a separate video, which I think I'll just wait to do the next day. And that video will have the playoffs. It will have the final league leaders. It will have our arbitration. As our contracts are expiring, we'll do the arbitration. And then that will be it. We'll wrap it up. We'll take a look and see who the free agents will be as far as, who we may or may, although we don't have a lot of payroll to work with. And then that'll be it. That will be it until April of next year. So I'm sad to see the year come to a close. There will be a contest, and there'll be a lot of contests. We'll have card openings over the fall and the winter, so baseball will still be alive, but we'll shut it down until next April. One thing that I did do, just for the hell of it, is, as Jack Morris is our starting pitcher today, current Mariners are batting .306 against him, I did move Bert Blyleven, who's still injured, into the rotation to kind of see what it would look like. And with Morris, Petrie, and Blyleven, I feel good about Brian Kelly. A great year from him. I don't really know what to expect from Brian Kelly. And then Dave Rozema just totally fell apart, as he does at the end of every season. So that would be our rotation right now. If I could trade Rozema at his $850,000 contract, I probably would. We'd be better off saving that money and giving it the rotation spot to either Jeff Robinson or Danny Jackson. So here is Jack Morris, as I mentioned, getting his last start of the year. I don't anticipate him going 5 today, unless he's pitching really effectively. And our lineup versus the left-hander, Bud Black. We're going to give Eddie Miller a final start in center field. We're going to give him a opportunity to play today. Otherwise, he would have had 3 days off in a row. Lance Parrish in there versus lefty as well. Okay, let's go ahead and do the lineup rundown for the Seattle Mariners. Batting leadoff, playing shortstop is Spike Owen. Batting second and DHing is Bob Pate. Batting third at second base is Harold Reynolds. Batting cleanup in left field is Ricardo Saenz. Batting fifth and catching is Tom Pagnozzi. Batting sixth at third base is Tom Dodd. Batting seventh in center field is Dave Henderson. Batting eighth at first base is Dave Stapleton. And batting ninth in right field is Rodney Craig. All right, Jack Morris. Oh, man, I mean, he's had maybe the best year of his career. Argument can be made for 1979, I suppose. But he's made all of his starts. He's 18-9, 3.95 ERA. Most strikeouts he's ever had in his career, giving up the most home runs he ever has in his career. Opponents are batting .243 against him. 4 complete games, 3 shutouts. That's a career high. Remember way back in spring training, I told you that I gave him the splitter, and I was concerned about whether or not I had maybe given him too much firepower, because the splitter, that is his out pitch in real life, and he didn't even have it in this game. I think it gave him a pretty okay season. The ERA is going to finish around 4, depending on what happened today. The 28-year-old righty goes to free agency at the end of next year. Okay, we'll look at his log real quick as well. Yeah, he went 3 2/3 versus Kansas City. 4 walks, we yanked him out of there. He was not very good. There's the Tigers' defense for today's game. Eddie Miller out there in center field. He is the best center field defender we have. And Parrish behind the plate today. Here is Spike Owen leading off against Jack Morris. 3 for 3 in his career with a walk. A line drive to left for Gibby, and Gibson makes the catch. 1 out. Next man up is Bob Pate. Pate strikes out on a fastball that had some movement. 1 K today for Morris. Here's Harold Reynolds. We didn't see him yesterday. A ground ball to short. And a 1-2-3 inning for Morris. Nice stun. We go to the bottom of the first. Here is the Tigers' official lineup rundown for today's ballgame. Batting leadoff, playing second base, is Sweet Lou Whitaker. Batting second, playing shortstop, is Alan Trammell. Batting third and DHing is Mickey Hatcher. Batting cleanup, playing third base, is George Brett. Batting fifth in right field is Glenn Wilson. Batting sixth in left field is Kirk Gibson. Batting seventh and catching today is Lance Parrish. Batting eighth at first base is Greg Brock. And batting ninth in center field is Easy Eddie Miller. Okay, we'll take a look at Bud Black. He is a left-hander in his 3rd season for the Mariners. He is making his 27th start, 12-11 with a 4.40 ERA, 107 Ks in 182 innings pitched. Opponents are batting .261 against him, 5 complete games and a shutout. His fastball only tops out at 87 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 48.1%. Fastball, that's his best pitch. He's rated an 88. He's got a decent slider, a couple other pitches that are trash. Other 26-year-old lefty goes to arbitration at the end of next year. I paused for a moment because I saw that it said 3rd season. How is it his 3rd season? I don't get that, as he never played in 81. Okay, here is the defense for the Seattle Mariners. Pretty solid all the way around today. Only Ricardo Saenz in left field is league average. Okay, here's Sweet Lou leading off against Bud Black. Lefty on lefty, tapper right back to Black. And there's 1 down. Whitaker struggling against the lefties here down the stretch. His average has dropped down to 278. But those 26 home runs, you got to love those. And then Trammell gets drilled in the ribs. He's going to feel that tomorrow. Trammell on first. Here is Mickey Hatcher. He had a good game yesterday. We're going to hit and run with Sticky Mickey. A ground ball to first. Trammell advances to second. There's 2 down for George Brett. Brett only a .219 hitter versus lefties. And Brett hits a ground ball to short. Play is made by Owen. So we go to the top of the second. No score. Ricardo Saenz leading off. Saenz batting .305 with 30 home runs. Another good year from him as he gets a base hit to left. And an error by Gibson. Oh no. Gibby was having such a solid year defensively. And I think he's had a couple of errors here in the last 10 days or so. So the leadoff man is on and is on second base for the Nozzle. Tom Pagnozzi striking out. Good job by Morris. Pagnozzi's been so clutch for us. Here's Tom Dodd, next man up, and Saenz was caught. He's 2 for 9 this year now. 2 for 9. That's just dumb. I guess he tried to pad the stats, though, since Seattle is out of it. And then a ground ball to first, and that'll do it. So we go to the bottom of the second inning. We've got Glenn Wilson leading off. Wilson sitting on 24 homers this year. Pulls it into left field. It's going to fall in front of Saenz and go to the wall for a double. That is Glenn Wilson's team-leading 25th double on the year. I believe Mickey Hatcher's got 23. So our leadoff man is on for Gibby. Gibby had 2 home runs yesterday, both off left-handers. A tapper back to Black, and Wilson advances. They're going to pull the infield in. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Wilson doesn't have a lot of speed. Let's see if Lance Parrish can just get it to the outfield. He sure does. That'll get the run in. 1-0 Detroit. Give Parrish the ribby. That'll bring up Greg Brock at his 138 average versus lefties. And a base hit up the middle. There we go. See what happens when you concentrate after having a couple days off. So the Brock Nest Monster on first. Here is Eddie Miller. As I mentioned, getting a spot start today. And he's going to gap it into right center field. Can Brock score from first? He does. An RBI double for Eddie Miller. That is his 7th double on the season. 2-0 Detroit. All right, come on, Lou. Get something going here. He'll take a walk. First and second, 2 down. This would be a good double steal situation here. What's this percentage? It would be a 76% chance to steal third because the lefty's on the mound, right? And Miller's got some speed. I feel like we got to let Trammell take a cut, though, right? We shouldn't take the bat out of his hand. Here we go. First pitch swinging. And a base hit to center field. I'm glad I changed my mind. Miller scores easily. Whitaker goes to third. 3-0 Detroit. And Sticky Mickey up. We don't have to hit and run this time. Ground ball to second. And Harold Reynolds tosses him out. It's 3-0 Detroit. We go to the top of the third. Dave Henderson leading off. Henderson strikes out. 3 Ks for Morris. Increasing his career high in Ks. Up to 163 now. Dave Stapleton having a solid year. Grounds out to short. And Rod Craig, who took the day off yesterday, as they put Bob Pate in right, takes a walk. That was a judgment call. Morris's first walk. Runner on first. Spike Owen up. We're going to pull the outfield in. He does have some power. He's got 15 home runs this year, but you don't think of him as a power hitter. He scorches that one to center. 325 feet, and that's out number 3. We are going to the bottom of the third with George Brett leading off. Brett, Wilson, and Gibson are due up. Brett strikes out. Man, he's not even going to bat 300 this year. We are playing him down the stretch tired. I'll do a good job of, keeping my eye on his health next year. Wilson walks. Good job by Wilson. I think we let Gibby take a cut here. We're up 3, and he strikes out looking. Second K for Bud Black. That'll leave it up to Lance Parrish. No pants, Lance. Big wheel. Oh, he gets all of it. A 2-run shot to left field. Lance Parrish has 15 home runs in less than 300 at-bats. That is incredible. I mean, but we're only playing him versus lefties. So he's definitely well-rested and, they're putting it right in his love zone. It's 5-0. And Greg Brock gets his second hit versus a lefty. This is not Bud Black's day. He's already got vacation plans in Hawaii. I think he's from Hawaii. San Mateo. Never mind. Nothing like Hawaii. Brock on first. Here is Eddie Miller, drove in a run with a double. And he goes to right field for a base hit. Well, Brock Holden goes to third. And the offense is just piling on right now. Here is Sweet Lou. Ground ball to short. And that'll do it. Tigers get a couple more runs on the Lance Parrish home run. 5-0. Here's Bob Pate. Leading off the inning, Pate, Harold Reynolds, and Ricardo Saenz. Ground ball from Pate. There's one down. Here's Harold Reynolds. Oh, he's going to gap it. Second hit for the Mariners today, and that is Reynolds. 42nd double of the year. Wow. 42 doubles and 35 stolen bases. Runner on second. Here's Ricardo Saenz. 1 for 5 in his career versus Morris. Ground ball to second. Only play is to first as Harold advances. And that'll bring up the nozzle. Tom Pagnozzi. Striking out looking. That's a 4 Ks for Morris. Nicely done. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Alan Trammell up. This is the 3rd time through the lineup already as we start the 4th. A blooper in right center field. Is that going to fall in? It is caught by the center fielder, Dave Henderson. He's a Gold Glover. He can get to a lot of those. One down. And Sticky Mickey sticks it into the right field bleachers. That is Hatcher's 16th home run on the season. 96 RBI. He's got an outside chance of getting 100. We are on the verge of having a storm here in Tucson, so you're hearing the thunder out there. I'm hoping we don't lose electricity. As George Brett ropes it to right. There's out number 2. Next up is Glenn Wilson. And Big Willie grounds out to short. Okay, we're going to the 5th inning. This will be the last inning for Morris, one way or another, as Tom Dodd steps in. I also, speaking of Morris' last opportunity here this season, I did pull Roger Weaver out of the closer's role. I put Dave Smith in there. He will be our closer next year as Henderson goes deep to center. Miller makes the catch, 331 feet from home. So, yeah, I did change the bullpen to look like what the bullpen should be for next year. We'll take a look at that when we pull Jack Morris as he walks Stapleton. Second walk by Morris today. And then a base hit up the middle for Rod Craig. He's 1 for 1 with a walk now. We're back to the top of the lineup. Pulling the outfield in. Will Morris give up a run today? Fly ball into left center field. Play made by Gibson. He had to go a long way to get that. That's out number 3. So that's a good way to end the year for Jack Morris. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Morris had 2 11-run games against him this year, which I think was at the height of my anger with this ball game. So, I guess, I don't know, it is what it is. As Bud Black, 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Here's Greg Brock. Brock 2 for 2, trying to get that lefty batting average up. Ground ball to second, and a 1-2-3 inning for Bud Black. Let's take a look at our bullpen for next year. This is what it's going to be as of right now. Dave Smith will be our closer. Dave Rucker will continue to be our lefty setup. Carl Willis will be our righty setup. Comstock will be back. We'll sign him to a small contract. Roy Thomas will get another shot, and Paul Gibson right now will be our final lefty coming out of the bullpen. I'm not really happy about that possibility, but we have no other options in the minors right now. So, okay, so we're going to bring in a right-handed pitcher. Let's bring in Jeff Montgomery. He's got a future with us, potentially a closer. Taking a look at his numbers so far this year. Fastball is rated a 90. That's nice, but it's only 89 miles an hour. If your fastball is rated higher than your fastball mile per hour, I don't know how that's even possible at all, but whatever. Okay, so here's Jeff Montgomery facing Bob Pate. Let's look at the end game stats. Player of the game, tough call. I mean, Parrish had the big home run, but Miller's 2 for 2 with the ribby. Parrish does have 3 RBI, so. Okay, here we go. Bob Pate striking out. Jeff Montgomery coming out, throwing the heat. 1 out. And then Harold Reynolds strikes out. Back-to-back Ks. Montgomery, he'll be in AAA next year in spring training. And he'll be on the short list for call-ups, it looks like, as he gets Saenz to ground out. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Eddie Miller having a good ball game, working on getting his average up. 2 for 2 today, and an RBI. And the base hit to center field. Do we want to go for 2? Not against Dave Henderson. We have good speed on our side, but Henderson's got the rifle, so I'd love to steal second base, but that's just the wrong thing to do. Okay, Whitaker 0 for 2 today with a walk. And he strikes out swinging. Wow. 5 Ks for Bud Black. 1 down. Here's Alan Trammell. Trammell, a blooper into center field. Now fall in. Yes, it does. A base hit for Trammell. He's 2 for 3. We are going to send Miller to third, and Henderson guns him out for out number 2. Oh man, that's going to be in the highlight reel for Henderson. What a bummer. I should have took my own advice. They're going to bring in Rick Anderson now. Mr. Anderson. For a guy that was a nobody, he's had a pretty good career in our sim. He's thrown 95.2 innings in relief. Looks like he's always the first man out of the pen. Great numbers all the way around. That fastball at 94 miles an hour. And it's rated a 93. Only a 77 rating, but that's a guy that would have a pretty good career here, I think. Okay, so we got a right-hander in the ball game. Here is Mickey Hatcher. Hatcher 1 for 3. He's got a dong. Frozen rope to left for out number 3. So we're going to the top of the 7th inning. Jeff Montgomery coming out of the ball game. Good job by him. We'll bring in Tom Filer for one more shot this year. Tom Filer, look at those numbers. I mean, he's been, despite having a terrible overall rating, he's had some value. The walk to strikeout ratio, not happy about that. But the opponent's batting average 268. That's pretty fair for a guy who had 17 starts. His fastball tops out at 90 miles an hour, but it's rated only at 81, and that's really his best pitch. He doesn't go to arbitration until next year. He will probably start out the season in AAA next year. And maybe be well, I don't know. I guess we shouldn't give roles yet, but maybe Tom Filer would be the first one up if someone got injured in the rotation. So Filer into the ball game. He's got Pagnozzi, Dodd, and Dave Henderson coming up. Wow, the nozzle hits number 30 of Tom Filer. That's the 11th American League batter to get to 30 home runs. By comparison, I believe there was only 4 in the American League last year. So that was rude. Here's Tom Dodd. Oh, all right. Okay, Tom Dodd, back-to-back jacks, his 9th of the year. I guess we've maybe overused Tom Filer. Let's see if we can get a little bit of confidence back here. 0-2 count. Striking him out. He gets Dave Henderson. He gives up a home run to Pagnozzi and Dodd. But he strikes out Hendu. 1 out. And then Dave Stapleton gets a basic to center. All right, we're not going to mess around too much more here. I'd like to get a win for Morris and then a walk. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's bring in Carl Willis here. Carl Willis has been really, really good. 11 Ks. Look at that walk to strikeout ratio. Take a lesson from that, Tom. That is a decent walk to strikeout ratio here. That's the kind of guy you want to bring in from the pen in a tough spot. Outfield in. And he strikes out Spike Owen. 8 pitches it took for the second out. And Bob Pate's up. Bob Pate, we've owned him today, but he has been nothing but a thorn in our side. First pitch swinging. And a line drive to left. Come on, Gibby. Gibson makes the catch. They get 2 runs on the back-to-back jacks from Pagnozzi and Dodd. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. George Brett, thankful to face a right-hander. Let's see if he can turn his fortunes around. Ground ball to second. Wow. Brett's down to a .290 batting average. Overall, a .282 in a Tigers uniform. Look at his log. Batting .224 over his last 20 games. He has been playing tired quite a bit, though. Okay. Big Willie grounds out to short. And Gibby had big ups yesterday versus left-handers. Terrible today, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Facing Rick Anderson, and he rips it right at the first baseman, Dave Stapleton, Gold Glove winner. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Good job by Carl Willis. What you talking about, Willis? We're going to say that a lot next year. I guess we're going to bring in Roy Thomas here. Now, Thomas has not been good in his last 20 games, a 5.31 ERA. But his ERA is still under 3. We'll give him a short leash today, as he's going to face Reynolds, Saenz, and the nozzle. 2-2 count to Reynolds, and he strikes him out. 1 down. Is this going to be a strikeout walk situation? No, it's a back-to-back case situation for Thomas. He's got 40 Ks now in 55 innings. Pretty good job. And then Pagnozzi, who went deep last time, crushes it to center. 363 feet for a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We're going to take Parrish out and play Terry Kennedy, who we have not played in a long time. All the way back on the 22nd, so over a week. And Kennedy does not take advantage of his opportunity, popping out to short. We've had a good lefty-righty split catcher duo this year. You can say that much. I think they almost hit 30 home runs combined. Greg Brock gets the hit against a right-hander, ground ball to second. By the way, the Tigers do not have a hit against Rick Anderson. And maybe today's best hitter, Eddie Miller, 3 for 3. 4 for 4 into the gap. Our number 9 hitter. Step it up. Let's give him a triple. That would give him everything but a home run. And he's safe at third. He's got a single, a double, and a triple today. Eddie Miller getting his average up to 264. Wow, that's impressive. I think it was at 231 when he came into today's. Well, we can look. It's right here in the log. I don't know. I don't feel like that's right. But what do I know? Okay, so we have Miller on third for Lou. Tigers finally get breakthrough against Anderson. Lou 0 for 3 with a walk today. Struck out twice. And a tapper back to Anderson. That'll do it. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Good job by Roy Thomas. We'll bring in Dave Smith. Not a safe situation yet, as we face Dodd, Henderson, and Stapleton. A line drive from Dodd right at Trammell. Easy play. Barely had to move. 1 out. Here's Dave Henderson. Ground ball to Trammell. 2 quick outs. We're down to Dave Stapleton. Here we go. And a ground ball to Lou. That could be it. Oh, come on. That is total crap. As Lou makes an error and the game is still alive. Rod Craig. And a base hit to right. All right, fine. Give them the runs. Let's just get it over with. Outfield in for Spike Owen. Striking out looking. Tigers win 6-2. No drama. But we have handshakes, butt slaps, and slappy steaks. 6-2 victory. We're 17-9. Too little, too late. Let's take a look at the West. Oh, Oakland lost and California won. It's going to come down to the final game of the year. That's the way we like it. New York's now has, they have 100 victories. I guess they did coming into today. Baltimore will not get 90 wins. We could have had 4 90-win teams in the East. Kansas City's lost 5 in a row. Let's take a look at the National League. We know it's over. I guess they are playing for home field advantage, technically, right? So the edge goes to the Mets, and then I guess it would be head-to-head. The Giants, although they are in last place, have won 4 in a row. Let's take a look at the headline news. A Brainiac Baseball Daily Beat. The Indians and Moronco trounced the White Sox. He knocked in 4 runs, did Moronco, with a home run. Danny Pasqua went 2 for 3. Good job by Pasqua. Twins and Viola shut down the Yankees. We have to look at Viola because you may remember before he got injured, his ERA, yeah, look at this crap. Tell me this game isn't jacked up in the head. His ERA was 8.64 when he got injured, and look what he's done now. It is log. 3 straight shutouts, 4 straight complete games since coming back from his injury. So he had his first start against Detroit. He's gone 9 innings in every game and 3 consecutive shutouts. 13 Ks. So you can't tell me that's not a glitch in the game. That's just stupid. Like, I don't understand why a player just can't have a regular game. Like whatever his average game would be, would that be would that earn a victory? No, instead, because he's missed all this time, all year, and his ERA was high, he can't finish the season, a complete baseball season, without it being a proper ERA. So he's got to throw a shutout every time in order to get it down. I mean, it makes no sense. Eddie Miller goes 4 for 4, and he will be our player of the game, just because he got a single, a double, and a triple. Good job by him. Parrish did have a home run, though. There's another one. Oh, Dennis Leonard just got injured. He's going to be out for tomorrow. But I also wonder if that was his last game as a Royal. He's a free agent. Okay, let's take a look at transactions. And it was just Dennis Leonard. Okay, let's pull up the box score and get out of here. Player of the game is Eddie Miller. 4 for 4. So he won 19 games this year. 19-9. Pretty solid. I mean, also, the ERA for Morris was at 3.95. So they had to give him a shutout today. I mean, maybe I could have pitched him longer. You might have pitched a shutout all the way through. A player like Montgomery, who doesn't have much major league stats, he comes in firing. Tom Filer, who's already pitched 122 innings, well beyond his, whatever his maximum is the game allots, he gets crushed, right? And then the rest of the bullpen comes in and they do whatever they do. We did have 11 strikeouts today. We had 5 extra base hits. Sticky Mickey had a home run. Lance Parrish went deep. Doubles for Wilson and Miller. Miller had a triple. 4 for 4. Parrish, again, I mean, because he hasn't played much this year, he's more effective now than ever, going deep in so many ball games down the stretch. Whereas, Brett, who's injured every year, is probably well beyond his, plate appearance threshold. I don't know. These are the things that I think the game screws with, instead of just allowing players to accumulate stats as they might if they were a superior batter versus an inferior pitcher. That's my opinion. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Oh, my God, tomorrow is the season finale. We are also playing the Detroit Lions 1980 alternate history, in which we've completed 3 weeks. Yesterday's game was crazy. Check that out. I'm going to put the video right about here. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's fun. It's long, but it's fun. So until tomorrow, everyone, have a great night.